Good evening. I'm Dan Fitzpatrick at StockMarketMentor.com on Tuesday, December 10th, and we're looking at Twitter here. But this isn't the time frame I want to show you. This has been a stock that has been really strong the last few days. Particularly noteworthy, at least to me, was when it broke out. This was just yesterday on Monday when it broke out above here. I just kind of wasn't watching it down here, but when it broke out above this high of 46.35, I'm pretty much all over that. But I want to talk about not really so much day trading, but really intraday dynamics, because I think that a lot of you probably day trade a little bit more than you think you do, and a lot of you maybe don't do it as well as you think you could. Here's what you got to know. Okay, this is the 5-minute chart, but let's go back to the daily chart. Okay, you can see Twitter had a pretty big move today, up almost 6%. And you say, golly gee, you know, that's a pretty, I don't know if you say golly gee or not, but that's a pretty big move from like 49 bucks up to 52 bucks. Monstrous. Look what it did yesterday. Same kind of thing. Wow. But if we look at the daily chart, the intraday chart, what do you see? You see a stock that when it takes off, every stock obviously is not going to do this, only the ones that take off in the morning. When the stock breaks out, look at how steeply and quickly this thing climbs. We'll go out to here. Okay, this is like the first hour within the hence Dan's 59-minute trader. But this isn't about the first hour that the stock made the climb. The rest of the time, you know, it didn't really pull back. I mean, look, the high of the day was what, 52, well, I don't know, 52.50 or something like that. Well, the stock closed at 52 bucks. Big whoop. Okay, so it's essentially traded sideways all day. But here's the thing. If you haven't been trading very long, or maybe you just kind of haven't been trading this way, you're going to sit here and you're going to look at the stock all day long and you're going to wonder if it's going to start taking off again. Here it actually kind of gave a little bit of a fake out. But if you realize what's happening, what is pushing this stock higher, it's really pretty severe buying pressure. Well, that buying pressure is not generally just going to keep going through the whole day. The buying pressure remains high pressure until all the buying that was going to be done was done. So you're going to see this a lot where first thing in the morning stocks move. Look at Groupon per se. Same thing. You look at the daily chart. Okay, you see a really pretty nice move here. But when could you have actually made the money? When you bought at 10:30? No. When you bought it 9:30, and then it runs. Or, of course, before that would be nice. But if you look even here on December 9th, yesterday, the stock ran up. It started down here at, you know, a little over 9 bucks, and ran pretty hard, and then trickled sideways for most of the rest of the day. Then it continued higher, fine, but that's not my analysis. I'm really just talking about the mornings. Okay, what about Apple? Give me some quotes here. There you go. 5-minute chart. Okay, first thing this morning, the stock gapped down like 3 bucks or something like that, traded a little bit lower, and then started moving higher. Look at the NASDAQ. Pushing a little bit higher at about the same time. The S&P pushing a little bit higher, but then ultimately rolling over. So we'll get back to Apple in this same time frame. The move was made, if you're buying Apple, the move was made in the morning. It was done in the morning. Similarly with Tesla. Same thing here. First thing in the morning, boom, down to 139, up to 144, whatever it is. This was the big money. Now, ultimately the stock moves even higher. Okay, so you can say, well, you know, if I'd sold here, then I wouldn't have made this move here. Okay, or this money here. Well, that's right, but you'd have also been holding on. We're talking short-term trading here, guys. you've been holding on all this time through this pullback, which in the eternal scope of things isn't that big a deal. 144 down to like 140, 150, not that big a percentage deal. But if you are looking at this time frame, then this matters. Kind of like this matters. Again, if you're looking at this time frame, if you really just look at the prices, 144.50, 140, let's $4 out of $144 stock, that is not a big move. But again, if you're just looking at intraday moves, it's kind of a big deal. So if you like a stock and you want to be buying it, frankly, the best time to be buying it is early in the morning. If it gaps way up, starts to roll over, that's a different deal. That's generally not going to work. But if you just see a stock, let's say you've been watching it in a volatility squeeze or something, and we can even look at like Netflix, same deal. You like a stock, buy it first thing in the morning. Because if you're buying it later in the day or in the afternoon, then what you really kind of have to do is wait overnight and see if you get this kind of move again. Okay, so anyway, hope that helps. Members, you got kind of a lot of video content tonight. There were a lot of requests for videos, and I went probably a little bit overboard. And we've got a lot of tickers for you to look at, but also some real important trading lessons in there about managing your risks, stops, stuff like that. So definitely give that video, the longer video, a go, and you can use fast version, of course. You get all of me in half the time. Not a bad deal.